That's what we're diving into today, the reality of launching a medical coding career. We're dissecting this eye-opening conversation between seasoned coders, Tim and Bree, and a group of freshly certified coders.
Sounds juicy. What do these seasoned pros have to say?
Oh, they did not hold back. One major takeaway, employer expectations, they're huge ishi.
Yeah, it's not just about passing that exam, right?
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that? Anything surprise you?
Totally. It really hit home that getting certified is just the first step. What blew my mind was how much emphasis Tim and Bree put on employer expectations. Like it's a whole other ballgame.
Right, and what's fascinating is this disconnect that exists. You have these new coders, certified and everything, but then there's the reality employers face. It's not about passing a test. It's about productivity, compliance, minimizing risk for healthcare providers. It's a business after all.
Totally. And the thing is, employers are looking for someone who's basically plug and play ready. Makes sense though, right? They don't want to start from scratch with training.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. The real world of medical coding, it's complex. You're dealing with mountains of documentation, navigating those EMR systems, and those guidelines are always changing, keeping up with healthcare regulations too. It's a lot.
It's like a whole hidden curriculum beyond the certification.
Right. And then you add in the fact that the field is booming.
Don't even remind me. It feels like every time I turn around, there's another newly certified coder. Tim and Bree even mention hundreds entering the market every month.
It's wild. So how do you stand out in that kind of crowd?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. They kept emphasizing this idea of continuous learning and music, to my ears, real-world experience.
Makes sense, though. You need to keep those skills sharp and show you can handle the real deal. Did they have any suggestions on how to do that? Because it's not like those entry-level jobs are just hanging around.
They did. They even suggested apprenticeships, like as a way to get your feet wet and have some mentorship.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Having someone guide you through the ins and outs of the job, that's invaluable.
Mm.
Did they give any examples of how much of a difference that kind of experience makes?
Oh, absolutely. They talked about this scenario comparing someone who hasn't really coded since passing the exam versus someone actively seeking out ways to practice. Even if it's just using publicly available medical records, the difference is huge EE.
It's like anything else, right? Practice makes, well, maybe not perfect, but it definitely makes you better.
Exactly. So it's like they're saying, don't wait for that opportunity, make your own. Create that experience.
Be proactive.
Mm.
Love it. So after this deep dive, what's the game plan? What can our listeners do right now to set themselves apart?
Well, the big takeaway here is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to keep learning, network with other coders, maybe even healthcare professionals, and find those practical experiences.
And here's something to think about. What are your unique strengths? Can you become a whiz with a specific EMR system or specialize in a certain coding area? Maybe you're a master of organization and those medical records don't stand a chance. Whatever it is, highlight it. Make yourself stand out.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, you want to be the one employers are fighting to hire.